What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. So one thing that I've noticed a lot recently all over the news, all over social media, is service animals and the controversy of first of all, knowing whether or not an animal is a service animal, and secondly, when businesses are experiencing someone that doesn't have a service animal, but it's just their pet, and the pet is mistreating the area and, not doing what a normal service animal would do, and therefore making actual service animals, look bad. So today, I'm going to talk about how to figure out if a service animal is legit or not, and what is required of a service animal in businesses and such things like that. So let's get into it. So service animals are protected under the ADA, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. And the ADA defines a service dog as a dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for people with disabilities. And that is, some examples are guiding people who are blind, alerting a deaf person, pulling a wheelchair, seizure alert animal, medication reminder, or PTSD and anxiety, and assisting their handler through an episode. And legally, a service dog is allowed to go anywhere that the general public is allowed to go, and we will discuss that further in this video. Service dogs are not limited to comfort and emotional support dogs. Comfort and emotional support dogs are not legally qualified under the ADA. As far as service dog etiquette, a service dog must be under the control of its handler. They must be harnessed, leashed, or tethered unless the handler's disability prevents the use of the device or the device prevents the dog from completing a task. Now, as I stated earlier, with PTSD and having anxiety, a dog, for example, would physically have to do what is known as deep pressure therapy on their handler. And in the middle of those episodes, a leash could end up underneath underneath the handler. And this would cause the dog to not be able to properly assist their handler. So this is one example as to why a service dog does not need to be leashed in order to be considered a service dog. Also, under the ADA law, only 2 questions legally can be asked of a service dog handler. Number 1, is the dog a service dog, and is it required because of a disability? What work or task has the dog been trained to perform? Now, what cannot be asked is, what is your disability, and can you show me what the dog actually does? Another thing that I just realized that businesses and people cannot ask for is certification of a service animal. There is no such thing. So if you meet somebody who claims that they have a certification card, it's not legit. Like I said earlier, fake service dogs have made a huge deal in the news and social media recently because they're just normal pets and they can't be contained wherever they are, and they'll bark or they'll try to run and attack an actual service dog, things like that. So when that happens, of course, that dog gets escorted out of the facility. But it makes actual service dogs look bad, which is why the ADA has since always said this is specifically why or what the dog needs to be able to do to prove that it is a service dog. And unfortunately, a lot of businesses are dog friendly or pet friendly, or they just, because they can't ask bigger questions, a person could easily just say, oh yeah, they're a service dog. And sometimes the second question of what does the dog actually perform, what service does it perform, that's not always asked. So unfortunately, anybody could say, oh yeah, my dog's a service dog, it's okay. And they'll get away with it until the dog misbehaves. And unfortunately, because of fake service dogs misbehaving, actual service dogs have been denied into public spaces. And now we're going to talk about the different things that people cannot do as far as denying a service dog. Now, some of the reasons that a dog cannot be denied are allergies or fear of dogs. If the person that works at the place that you're going to has a fear or allergy of dogs, they then legally have to go to an area where you are not. You cannot be denied because the people have an allergy or fear of the dogs. You are allowed to have your dog in any area, like I said before. And you cannot deny access to a dog unless the service handler can control the dog and the dog is housebroken. If the dog is not housebroken, you can't have it. A lot of people have been denied access to places with their service dogs because the place has food. Now, under food safety and all that, yeah, pets are not allowed. However, service dogs are, even under those regulations. Service dogs are the exception. Some examples of things that cannot happen in public areas when there's a service dog involved is patrons cannot be isolated or treated differently whether they have a service dog or not. And also, let's say you go to a hotel or somewhere that is pet friendly, but the place you have to pay for like a pet friendly fee. If you have a service dog, those fees are actually waived. So this is basically all that I researched myself on the ADA.gov, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act.gov. And I don't claim to be an expert in it whatsoever. Like I said, I researched it all myself. But if you want to learn more about the Americans with Disabilities Act or look further into service animals, things like that, you can go to, like I said, ada.gov and check it out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Hope it was extremely informative. And if I can just include anything, if you haven't been listening to my video and you just want little cliff notes or whatever, please don't bring your pets and call them service dogs to places, because you're making it really, really difficult for people with disability who actually have disabilities and actually need service dogs to be able to have their service dogs in places. Like, I also understand the frustration behind, the whole fake service dogs thing, and you know, wondering if that animal actually is a service dog or not. But I'm telling you, the people with their fake service animals are making it extremely difficult for people with actual disabilities, with real service animals, to just be able to live their lives. Because seriously, it just, you know, like I've always said, people with disabilities deserve to live life and do the things they enjoy and love just like everybody else.